Good morning, students. I hope that all are doing good and all are safe at your home. Let's move on to our subject. As we are doing our first chapter in chemistry, the chapter name is The Language of Chemistry. I repeat the chapter name, The Language of Chemistry. Before going into our topic, I would like to recall what we have studied in our last class. We studied about symbols. Symbols means it is the shortcut or short form for the atom of specific element. Then we studied about valency. Valency means it is the combining capacity of an atom or a radical. Then we studied about radicals. It is an atom or a group of atoms of the same or different element. Let's move on to our today's topic. I would like to ask you all a question that how do we call our friends? How do we call our friends? Usually we used to call them by their names. So each of our friend has each different names. Sometimes we used to call them by their nicknames also. So likewise, in chemistry also, each of the chemical compound has different chemical names. So today we are going to see about naming certain compounds. So how the compounds are named, how we should name them. For that we should know about the two common words, that is suffix and prefix, which is commonly used in this steps while naming the compounds. Suffix means it is added at the end. Prefix means it is added at the beginning. I repeat, suffix means it is added at the end. Prefix means it is added at the beginning. We have 5 categories for naming certain compound. The first one is a metal and non-metal. The second one is two non-metal. The third one is two elements and oxygen. The fourth one is naming of acids. The fifth one is trivial names. Let's see detail about each of the category. The first one, a metal and non-metal. In this, the compound has a metal and non-metal. So the metal is written first and the non-metal is written along with the suffix IDE. The metal is written and then the non-metal along with the suffix IDE is written. So let's see an example. Calcium plus nitrogen. Here calcium is a metal and nitrogen is a non-metal. It forms the calcium nitride where at the suffix IDE is added. The next category is two non-metals. Here the compound has two non-metals and the prefix tri, tetra or penta is added according to the number of atoms present in the compound. Example, PCl3. Here we have 3 chlorine, so tri is used. So it is named as phosphorus trichloride. The another example is PCl5. Here we have 5 chlorine atom, so it is named as phosphorus pentachloride. Let's move on to the next category. It is two elements and oxygen. It means that the compound has two different elements and it has an oxygen along with it. So it is named on the basis of number of oxygen atom present in the compound. So the name given to the compound is on the basis of number of oxygen atom. If the oxygen atom is less than 1, 2 means, that is if the oxygen atom is 1, then to the prefix hypo is added. That is the example NaClO. Here we have only one oxygen atom. So it is named as sodium hypochlorite. If the oxygen atom, the number of oxygen atom in a compound is 2, then suffix ite is added. Example NaClO2. Here we have 2 oxygen atom, so it is named as sodium chloride. If the number of oxygen atom is 3, then to the suffix 8 is used. Example NaClO3. Here we have 3 oxygen atom, so it is named as sodium chloride. The next type is if the oxygen atom present in the compound is more than 3, then to the prefix per is used. Example NaClO4. Here we have 4 oxygen atom present in this compound, so it is named as sodium perchlorate. The next category is naming of acids. Here for binary acids, the prefix hydro is added and suffix ic is added. Example HCl. Here it is named as hydrochloric acid as the hydro prefix is added and suffix ic is added. For HF, it is named as hydrofluoric acid. Here also the prefix hydro is added and the suffix ic is added. The next type is polyatomic acids. For polyatomic acids, the prefix hydro is not added here, but the names are given according to the second element present in the compound. So the names is given according to the second element present in the compound. So for example H2SO4, here the second element is sulfur, so it is named as sulfuric acid. The another example is HNO3. Here the second element is nitrogen, so it is named as nitric acid. The another example is H3PO4. Here the second element is phosphorus, so it is named as phosphoric acid. Let's see about the last category, trivial names. Trivial names, it means that it does not follow any rule. Such names are called as trivial names. So you can understand when I give you the examples. NH3, nitrogen trihydrate is called ammonia. NH3 is mostly called as ammonia. Likewise H2O, we know it is called as water. It does not so for H2O we does not follow any rules to name the compound. We just say it as water. Next we see about how to calculate the valency from the formula. How we should calculate the valency of the compound from the formula, given formula. For that we should know about what is meant by valency. Valency means it is the outermost electron in an atom. The number of electron present in the outermost shell is called as the valency. So the valency of hydrogen is 1. The valency of oxygen is 2. The valency of chlorine is 1. Here we can see in the picture for hydrogen we have 1 electron in the outermost shell, so the valency is 1. For carbon we can see that 4 electron in the outermost shell, so the valency of carbon is 4. Let's see how to find the valency. The first step, we have to write the given formula. Now I have taken NO2 as an example. The second step, you have to interchange the subscript and write it as superscript. So subscript what we have for nitrogen it is 1 and for oxygen it is 2. So now we are going to interchange it and write. So what happens? N power 2 and O power 1. So I have interchanged and written it. Then Step 3. We have already known that for valency of oxygen is 2. So to make the valency of oxygen 2, we have only 1. So I am multiplying it with 2. So I am multiplying both the subscripts by 2. What happens as a result? For nitrogen we will be getting 4 and for oxygen we will be 2. So thus from this result we can say that the valency of nitrogen is 4. So by this method we can find the valency of the given formula for the compounds. So I repeat the steps. First we have to write the formula, then we have to interchange the subscripts and write it in the superscripts. Then you have to multiply the compounds with the known valency, and then at last you will be getting the valency of the unknown element. Next we see about chemical equation. Chemical equation. What is meant by chemical equation? Before that we should be knowing about what is meant by chemical reaction. Chemical reaction means everything around us is usually involves some chemical reaction. Even burning a paper involves chemical reaction. Even converting milk into a curd is also a chemical reaction. So what is meant by chemical equation? So this chemical reaction is represented in an equation form, then it is called as chemical equation. So this chemical, how it will be represented in a chemical equation form? We can represent them in a symbols of formulas. We can represent them in a symbols of formulas to represent their chemical changes. The definition is the chemical change is a symbolic representation of chemical reaction using symbols and formulas of substance involved in the reaction. I repeat, the chemical equation is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using the symbols and formulas of the substance involved in the reaction. Here the example given is burning of coal in air. Carbon dioxide is formed. Let's see more detail about the chemical equation. It has two categories, that is two types. One is word equation, another is chemical equation. Word equation means the chemical reaction is written in the word form. Chemical equation means they are written in the written using symbols or formulas. Example, carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide. It is a word equation form. The chemical equation form is C plus O2 gives CO2. Here only the symbols are used for representing the chemical equation. Now let's see the steps involved in writing the chemical equation. Before that we should know about what is meant by the reactant and what is meant by the product. Usually reactants are present in the left hand side and product is present on the right hand side of the arrow. So in a chemical equation we have the reactant and the product, where reactants are the substance in which the chemical reactions are involved and products are the substance where the result we get from the chemical reactions. So the substance involved for chemical reaction is called as reactants, and the substance that we get from the chemical reaction is called as products. It is an example for chemical equation. 2NaOH plus CuSO4 gives Na2SO4 plus CuOH twice. Let's see. The step 1. Reactants are written on the left hand side with the plus sign in between. them. The second step is product is written on the right hand side with the plus sign in between them. Then for reactant and product, arrow is drawn in between them. The last step is reactants and products are in their molecular form. They are written in their molecular form. These are the 4 steps involved in chemical equation. This reaction may also involve one reactant and 2 or more products. It is one type. The example is CaCO3, which gives CaO plus CO2. Here one reactant is formed 2 or more products. The next category is 2 reactants and 1 product. That is 2 reactants combines together and form 1 product. The example is NH3 plus HCl gives NH4Cl. Here the 2 reactant is combined and they give the single product. The another type is 2 reactants and 2 products. Here the example is AgNO3 plus NaCl gives AgCl plus NaNO3. Here 2 reactants are combined and they give 2 products. The next type is 2 reactants and 3 or more products. Here Cu plus 2H2SO4 gives CuSO4 plus 2H2O plus SO2. It means that 2 reactants are combined and they form the 3 or more products. Here the 3 products is formed. So what are the chemical reactions? It may form the 1 reactant and 2 or more products, or it can form 2 reactants and 1 product, or 2 reactants and 2 product, or 2 reactants and 3 or more products. The next we see is about skeleton equation. Skeleton equation means equation that represents the chemical change but it's unbalanced. By seeing this picture we can identify that they are not in a balanced state. So skeleton equation is also represents that it is a chemical change but it is unbalanced. So it means the total number of atoms present in the reactant side is not equal to the total number of atoms present in the product side. I repeat, the total number of atoms present in the reactant side is not equal to the total number of atoms present in the reactant side. The total number of atoms on each of the element on the 2 sides are not equal. The example is KNO3 gives KNO2 plus O2. Here we can see we have 1 K, that is potassium, on the reactant side, and on the product side also we have 1 K. On the reactant side nitrogen N we have 1, and on the product side we have nitrogen 1. On the reactant side oxygen atom we have 3 oxygen atom, but on the reactant side we have 4 oxygen atom. Here only 3 on the reactant side, but on the product side we have 4 oxygen atom. Next, the number of atom in the reactant is not equal to the oxygen atom in the reactant is not equal to the number of oxygen atom in product. So here it says that the oxygen atom on the reactant side is not equal to the product side. So it is said to be an unbalanced equation. If it is an unbalanced equation, then it is said to be an skeleton equation. Next we see about the balanced equation. Balanced equation means it is just an opposite to the skeletal equation. Skeletal equation means it is an unbalanced one. For balanced equation, it is a balanced one where the total number of atoms present in the reactant side will be equal to the total number of atoms present in the product side. So on both the side the atoms will be in equal form. So then it is said to be balanced equation. So we have example for balanced equation. It is CaCO3 gives CaO plus CO2. Here we have one calcium on the reactant side and one calcium on the product side, and one carbon on the reactant side and one carbon on the product side, and we have 3 oxygen atom on the reactant side, and here 1 plus 2 3 oxygen atom on the product side. So the atoms are equal on the both the sides. So this equation is said to be a balanced equation. For not balanced equation, KNO3 gives KNO2 plus O2. Here we have already seen this equation in our skeleton equation. Here it says that KNO3, where K is present, K is present in the reactant side, and the product side 1 K is present. Nitrogen, we have 1 nitrogen in the reactant side, and on the product side we have 1 nitrogen. Oxygen, we have 3 oxygen on the reactant side, but we have 4 oxygen on the product side. So it is not balanced equation. So it is said to be a skeleton equation. So the next topic is, why should an equation be balanced? Why we should balance this equation? We have a reason to balance why we should balance an equation. To comply with the law of conservation of matter. What is meant by law of conservation of matter? Law of conservation of matter means it says that matter is neither created nor destroyed in a course of chemical reaction. I repeat, matter is neither created nor destroyed in the course of chemical reaction. So it cannot be neither created nor destroyed. So unbalanced equation could imply that atoms have been created or destroyed. So let's summarize what we have studied in today's class. First, we have seen about naming certain compounds. So we have seen 5 categories. They are a metal and non-metal, 2 non-metals, 2 elements and oxygen, naming of acids, trivial names. Then we have seen about how to calculate the valency. How we should calculate the valency. First we have to write the given formula. Then we have to interchange the subscripts. Then we have to multiply the known valency with the unknown valency. Then at last, as a result, we will be getting the valency of the another unknown element. Then what we have studied? We have studied about the chemical equation and their types. What are the chemical equation means what? It is the symbolic representation of the chemical reaction. Using symbols or formulas, we can represent the chemical equation is represented means, reaction is represented means, then it is said to be chemical equation. And what are the types? It has 2 types. One is word equation, another is chemical equation. Then at last we have seen about skeleton equation and balanced equation. Skeleton equation means it is an unbalanced equation, that is the number of atom present in the reactant side will not be equal to the number of atoms present in the product side. For balanced equation, it is the number of atom present in the reactant side will be equal to the number of atom present in the product side. Okay, these are the topics that we covered in today's class. The follow up is, you have to study the definition for chemical equation, skeleton equation and balanced equation. I repeat, you have to study the definitions for chemical equation, skeleton equation and balanced equation. Thank you, students.